Hi friends, it's Amy at Doki Doki Forest. Welcome. I'm so glad you are here. Now today we're going to be diving right into the Winter Journal Challenge. This is a super fun collab hosted by Kia at Kia Creates, and I am thrilled to be one of the creators for this challenge. And I had 2 days, so I had December 2nd, which was a title page, and today, which is December 12th, and today's prompt is soundtrack to the season. Now, one of the cool things about this challenge is that for each prompt, it lasts 3 days, and that means that there are multiple creators presenting their ideas for the same prompt. So, for example, for this soundtrack prompt, there are 2 other creators, I believe, that are presenting what they have done. So be sure to check out the playlist. It's really cool to see what everyone does, even if they have the same prompt. What do they come up with? I can't wait to check everyone's pages out and just see what they thought of and how they used different materials or created in different ways, or what they were thinking of. And so here's what I'm thinking of. We have a party in the woods. So my journal for this challenge has a theme of being woodsy, a winter in the woods or Christmas in the woods. And right now we are going to a party, and the DJ is a fox, and they are spinning some tunes. He's got some records going there, some classic vinyl. And I'm making some more characters that are going to be celebrating and enjoying the music. And the soundtrack of the season is twofold, because it's about what sort of music you may like to listen to, your favorite songs or your favorite musicians. And it's also about just the sounds that you hear, the ASMR sounds, like wrapping paper and that sort of thing. So we're going to talk about all of that while we watch the process here. I'm just penciling everything. I know it can be hard to see what I'm doing when I'm using the pencil. It can be a little bit light, but don't worry, I'll get to the ink soon, and then you'll be able to see it much better, I hope. And then after that, we'll be doing some watercolor painting. And then, of course, we'll cut them out and add them to the page. Now, another cool aspect to this winter challenge Kia's created is that she has questions to go along with our pages and our prompt. So for soundtrack to this season, she asks, what does it sound like? A festive playlist? Sleigh bells? Tearing wrapping paper? And for me, I definitely go with the classic sounds of Christmas when I listen to music. I love hearing like Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin and Peggy Lee and Nat King Cole. I am all about classic. And a sound that I love is the crackling vinyl record. And that's what I'm making right here. I am using my hole punch and taking these little pieces of paper that I'm going to glue, and those are going to be little albums. And then you can pull out the vinyl record. Because growing up, that's what we had on. The Christmas tree would be going. It would have those bubbling lights. And, I couldn't wait to decorate it and take out my favorite ornaments. And we would have a vinyl record that would be playing. I mean, more than one. But I feel like the one that we played the most was, we had this Boston Pops vinyl record. And I loved it. I used to listen to like The Sleigh Ride, of course, classic song. And so I'm incorporating my love of vinyl records and that memory of Christmases back in the 70s and early 80s, listening to records all the time. And this fox, this is like, how Frank Sinatra was the chairman of the board? That was his nickname. Well, this fox is the DJ of the woods. So that's his official title, as a nod to Frank Sinatra. I didn't give him a badge or anything. I thought about, maybe I should put a little badge on him that says that. And then I thought, well, that might be kind of weird because, is he pinning it to his fur? So I didn't do anything, but maybe I'll write it on the front of his little DJ setup there. And you'll see that there are jingle bells, or sleigh bells, like on a little bracelet that he has that he's jingling, because of course the sound of sleigh bells is classic. You gotta have that. It's like every song could be a regular song, but as soon as you hear the jingle bells, you're like, oh, it's a Christmas song. You add those sleigh bells in, you've got yourself a Christmas song. It doesn't even matter so much what you say, but the jingle bells are everything. And this little squirrel over here, you'll see that they're sipping their drink, because for me, another sound is sipping a nice hot cocoa or a peppermint mocha. They are enjoying that nice hot drink, warming them up. And then we have our dancers down here. We have a chipmunk and a junco, which is a winter bird that, we see this time of year here in New England. Sometimes we see birds that used to be spring birds, but they're here all the time. Like the other day, I saw a bluebird, and I was like, what? I didn't think you guys were around. But I recently read an article, because I know I've mentioned the robins before, how robins are here year-round a lot of the time now. And they definitely used to fly south when I was a kid. But, I read an article. I guess they've adapted. So I guess they're okay. But it definitely feels weird, because I'm used to winter birds being like cardinals, blue jays, the juncos, of course, the chickadees. But every once in a while, you see a bird that surprises you. So what other sounds do we have? We've got the vinyl record, and, we've got the soundtrack of the songs that we love. What's your favorite Christmas song? I really love that Marshmallow World song by Dean Martin. I just love that. And, White Christmas by Bing Crosby. I mean, that's a classic. We've got, Frank Sinatra, everything he sings. Winter Wonderland, I hear Peggy Lee always singing that one. Of course, the Christmas song by Nat King Cole. What about the Chipmunks? What do you guys think about Alvin and the Chipmunks? For me, I like a Chipmunks Christmas. And one of the best things about it, I don't know if you can still do this, but I had the tapes. I think it was the tapes. I don't think it was CDs. I think it was actually cassettes. And I had, the way I was playing it, I had this boombox or whatever it was I was playing it on. And it had 2 different volumes. So you could turn down the right side or the left side. You could adjust it. And there was a way you could turn the volume so that you could turn the Chipmunks all the way down, but you could turn the music all the way up. And so I would do that all the time because I loved the music, but I didn't always want to hear the Chipmunks. And the best part was Dave, the human, Dave Seville, who, the Chipmunks live with and they sing with and all that. Dave would just randomly come on and yell. So you'd be listening to the music and it would be this nice Christmas music. And then completely randomly, Dave would yell, Alvin! So I used to think that was so funny. It's like Dave is just randomly, having a nutty. So I love that too. Let me know if you have a favorite Christmas song down below. There's just so many of them. You can't go wrong, except for me with modern Christmas songs. I don't know. They're just not the same. Now, George Michael, Last Christmas, that I love. But now there's these artists that have remade that song, and I don't like them. For me, it's George Michael or no one. So I guess I'm kind of traditional that way. So some watercolor, I'm just adding detail as one layer dries. I can go back in, make the colors a little bit darker if I want, or add another color on top. And now we're going to use this painty page. I liked the blue. This is just a page that I spread some paint on and some ink on and splattered some more paint on top, some watercolor, and then just let it dry. I'm going to add a tree. Now, this tree you may remember me making for the cover of this journal, and that was a tree I had left over. So I'm going to put it here. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, then check out my title page for this journal. I'll link it down below so that way you can check it out. Now, another sound that I associate with Christmas, I mean, at least if we have a white Christmas, is snow, crunching snow. And it doesn't have to be Christmas. It's just, the sounds of winter too. But yeah, that crunching of snow is so satisfying when you get your boots on and you're out there and you're making tracks. So I wanted to include snow. So I'm getting this tissue paper that has a little bit of glitter in it. And I am just using my acrylic medium and spreading some on the page and just kind of messily putting it on there because we don't want it to be neat. We want it to be like little mounds of snow going throughout. I'm just putting it here and there. I'm not going to put too much at the top because I have another plan for that space, which you will see right now. We have our vinyl records going up here with their album covers. We've got Bing Crosby, Michael Bublé. We're going to put our DJ on here, spinning up these records here. The trusty rock to hold it down while it dries. We have Peggy Chickadee. And last but not least, we have got Harry Cardinal Jr. Now, do you recognize all of these artists? I think you know Bing Crosby, Michael Bublé, Michael Bublé, Peggy Chickadee, Peggy Lee, and Harry Cardinal Jr. is Harry Connick Jr. And I wanted to signify that there was a lot of music playing and flowing, so I grabbed this ribbon and I thought I would sort of draw on some music notes and glue it on. And it's this really curly ribbon that came on a gift last year that I saved. And I thought that was, it kind of looked like the flowing music as it swirls through the air and surrounds us. So I'm using my glue gun, making a couple of dots of glue and sticking the ribbon on. And I realized it was actually better if I glued the ribbon on first, then added the notes so I could see how the ribbon curled. And because it's lined, it even looks like a music sheet. Now, I don't know anything about writing music, so I'm just having fun and just putting notes wherever you can actually see the ribbon. Okay, so these pages are all done, but I did add something else I want to share with you. I have got these records here, right? And you can pull them out of their album covers. But I wanted it to feel like you were involved with this page and picking the music, and you could, decide what song is playing. So what I did was attach this strip of black paper. I'll show you a little video. And I glued it to the back of the record. And then, as you pick a record, you can unfold this paper and it will have the song. It'll have like the lyrics on there. So for example, if you pick Bing Crosby, you've got I'm Dreaming of a White Christmas. And you can leave it open. So if that's the song you want to hear, you leave it open. You can tuck the record back in there if you can get it back in. There we go. And you can kind of leave that open, and then it's like that's the song that's playing. And then if you want to change the song, you tuck that back down, and then you can pick, Michael Bublé. Whoops, got a little something on there. You can unfold that one, and we have It's Beginning to Look a Lot Like Christmas. And then, if you would like to have Peggy Chickadee, Then she will sing Walking in a Winter Wonderland. And Harry Cardinal Jr., take a guess. What do you think? What's he going to sing? He's singing Santa Claus is Coming to Town. So there we go. We've got our albums tucked in there. And I had like more albums I wanted to make too. So I almost want to make like a little something where I can have more albums you can kind of file through and flip through, I mean. And, you know, because Nat King Cole I really wanted to include. All I could think of was Nat King Mole. And I was really trying to go with birds. Maybe Oriole. Nat King Oriole. Why didn't I do that? I was trying to do winter birds. Orioles, I don't know if they're around. I think they're gone now. But anyway, let me know if you have any bird names for artists you would like me to include. And I think I would like to make an additional page and include some more vinyl records. You know, maybe they're not quite released yet. They're coming soon. But you can get a close-up look of everything. We have this nuthatch here. I love nuthatches. Now, this one is not impressed by this music. The nuthatch is like, I can sing way better than all of them. And if you've heard a nuthatch, you may or may not disagree. So that is our page. And when we get to the cover, I did include a jingle bell to go with the soundtrack because, you know, even though they're quiet little bells, I really wanted to have them. And I feel like I'm going to add more onto here as the journal progresses. We'll see. But yeah, I wanted to have some jingle bells. And I was going to hang it on this page. I just wasn't sure where I could do it that I wouldn't have these like awkward jingle bells in the center, or if I hung it out the bottom, I didn't know if that would be too, you know, tricky to put away. Well, not really. You just put it away this way, you know, instead of putting it upright. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me today. I was so glad to have you here. I had a ton of fun making this page. I can't wait to see what everyone else has done. Thank you so much, Kia, again for inviting me to be a collaborator in this challenge. I am having an awesome time. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you again soon.